So our last set of notes for the semester is 9.6, which is going to be on matrices. So every system can be rewritten as a matrix. And essentially what happens is we take all of the coefficients and we take out everything else. So all of the variables and like the equal sign and stuff, all those go away. And so if I was to turn this system into a matrix, it would be, there's one y here. Now be careful because there are no c's in this equation. So I would say 0. And then a -2 and 100. So if there is a negative, that negative goes with the number. Okay. So then my next line would be -4, 1, 12, 400. And my last line would be -4, 1, 9, 250. I feel like that's one of the easiest questions you will come across in this entire course. So then going the other way, if this is my matrix, then my system would be 1x, -2, 0. I mean, I'm really just moving numbers from one box to another at this point. 6, -15, 1, 150, 3, -10, 1, 250. Okay? This is literally all those questions want you to do. Yay, free points. All right, so to put a matrix in reduced row echelon form in our calculators, we are going to do second and then matrix, scroll over to edit. We'll edit matrix A, so press enter. This matrix has 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. So it's a 3x4 matrix. You just put in those numbers and press enter and it'll save. If you have something in your matrix, you just go right over it. So like if I just do 1 and then enter, it replaces what's there with that one. So 1, -1, 6, 250. And again, all I'm doing is pressing enter in between. That was a good idea to double check. Looks good. Okay, so once you're confident, you can press second and then mode to quit back to the main screen. Then we're going to press second and then matrix. So second and x to the -1 to get matrix. This time we're going to go over to math. Scroll down. We want RREF because it's asking me for reduced row echelon form. So RREF, see it? RREF. And then we go back to matrix and we press enter to choose A because that's where I've saved my matrix. And then enter. And again, now I'm copying boxes. So reduced row echelon form. If you're going to major in something very mathy, engineering, anything like that, you'll eventually take a class called oh man, it's going to come to me. I can see my professor standing in front of me. Linear algebra. There we go. And in linear algebra, you're going to spend a lot of time working with matrices. So you'll do this by hand then. But for right now, we're just going to use the calculator. Okay. So reduced row echelon form will solve a system for me. So I'm going to take this system and I'm going to turn it into an augmented matrix. -9, -8, -12, 14, 6, -5, -194. And then I'm going to do matrix over to edit. This is a 2x3, -9, -8, -12, 14, 6, -5, -194. And then second, and then mode to quit to save it. I was just making sure it was okay. And then honestly, I'm just going to do second enter because that's going to pull up my RREF of A, since I saved this matrix in A as well. Oops, maybe I didn't put it in right. Let's check. -9, -8, -12, 14, 6, -5, -194. Looks right to me. And I guess we just have decimals. 48.58, 97.1. We're doing 2 decimal points. Okay. A 3x3 matrix works the exact same way. So we just have to be really careful here, because you see how there's no consistency here. It goes XWU, WXU. So we want to get a like standard XWU. So this first equation is okay. So here I want X first, and then W, and then I'm going to move this U over and keep the 4, oops, in its own line. I'm going to put the X first, it's a -2W, next, and this last one has no U term, so I'm going to leave that space blank. And now my augmented matrix here would be 2, -4, 1, 12, -1, 1, -1, -4, 1, -2, 0, 5. So again, it is key that we are consistent. So if we have X first, then X needs to be first in every row. Okay. So let's go to matrix, over to edit. This is a 3x4. Oh, I figured out what happened with that last one. Okay, we're going to go back to the last one in a second. I did not notice that the last one was not in standard form. We'll go. Now that I have it saved, I'm going to do second enter. So then this row, -1, -3, 2. Because I went XWU, this is XWU. Okay. Now let's go back and look at this last one. It was TA and then AT. So this should have been -5, 6, because it should have been TA. So I'm going to redo that one. I was like, it's been a couple months since I've done these, but I didn't think they ended up that way. Oops. Yeah, that's better. 94 and 46. Okay. So again, consistency is key. We want to make sure that we have the same variables in the same spots. And honestly, if they give me like TA like this, or WU or XWU, I always am going to put them in whatever order I see here, so that I know that my last column is in that same order. Okay. So it doesn't matter how many variables your system has. This works all the time. They were nice enough to line these up, X, Y, Z, W. So I don't need to worry about moving anything around. So second matrix, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. Oops, 4 rows and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. So negative 45, 5, 6, negative 15, negative 47. And again, that's just enter in between each one, and enter will move it. 81, negative 7, negative 9, 27, 91, 27, negative 3, negative 3, 9, 27, negative 135, 15, 18, negative 48. Ooh. Negative 135, 15, 18, negative 48, negative 126. Okay. 5, 5, 6, negative 15, negative 47, 81, negative 7, negative 9, 27, 91, 27, negative 3, negative 3, 9, 27. Okay, looks good. So then reduced row echelon form. 3, 5, negative 2, 5. Gotta love it when the calculator does everything for you, right? Okay. That's where problems are annoying. Eduardo just inherited $47,200. He chose to invest some of his inheritance in a mutual fund that pays 7%, and the rest in a CD that pays 5%. So we'll say that X is in 7%, and Y is in 5%. If his annual interest between the two accounts is 2580. That's 2580. Okay, well, this is just a system. We know that X plus Y is 47,200. That's how much he invested total. We know that 7% of X plus 5% of Y gave him $2,580. So he invested $11,000 at 7%. And 36,200 at 5%. And I would check this, honestly. It takes 2 seconds, but if we add these together, we do get 4720. And if we do 5% of 11,000, then how much money did he make on the 11,000? Oops. And if we do, oh no, that one was 7. And if we do 5%, and then 1810 plus 7,700. Oops, 1810 plus 770. Yep, there's just $2,580 in interest. Okay. Let's take a look at the next one. At a local basketball game, the concession stand has two different choices. You can get 2 hot dogs and 2 drinks for $14.50. So let's let X equal the hot dogs. Thank you.
Mama.
Hi.
Mama.
Baby.
Hi,
baby.
Yeah.
No, you don't need the iPad right now. So we can get
No.
for $14.50. It's so funny living with a toddler because sometimes you have no idea what she says, and then sometimes she's like, no, and you know exactly how she feels. 3 hot dogs and 4 drinks for $22. Right? 2 hot dogs and 7 drinks, $14.50. 3 hot dogs and 4 drinks, $22. I mean, really, this wouldn't be incredibly difficult to solve by hand. I just don't want to do it. It's early, and I'm tired. If you want to do these by hand when you're doing your homework, you absolutely have my permission to. Oops, what did I mess up? 2 hot dogs, 7 drinks, $14.50. 8 hot dogs, 4 drinks, $22. Okay, so then I must have put my matrix in wrong. 2, 7, $14.50. I feel like the font on this is so small that maybe I'm reading it wrong. That's 8 hot dogs and 4 drinks, not 3. That's my problem. Let's try that. Oh, that's better. So it's $2 for a hot dog and $1.50 for a drink. Can I help you, sir? No, don't rub up against that. You're gonna. Bobo. Here, say hi. Say hi. Now go away. I love you, buddy. He's 14 and he has, for his entire life, never been the best at personal space. Maricopa's Success Scholarship Fund received a gift of 11. How many zeros is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. The money is invested in stocks, bonds, and CDs. CDs pay 4.5% interest. So they have it stocks, bonds, and CDs. So I'm going to go in that order. So the stocks pay 7.8%. Bonds pay 2.3%. And CDs, that should be Z. I already used X, I can't use X twice. Pay 4.5%. Okay, so we need 3 equations. Invest $25,000 more in bonds than CDs. Okay. So I need to label these also because we went stocks, bonds, CDs. Good to know. 25,000 more in bonds than in CDs. So here's what we know. If we take Z and we add 25,000, we'll get more in bonds than CDs. Why? So the bonds plus 25,000 are going to give me what they invested in stocks. I don't like it like that. So let's make it, if we move the z over, we would have y minus z equals 25,000, which makes sense because if you invested 25,000 more, then the difference between the two should be 25,000. We also know that x plus y plus z is 110,000. And we also know that 0.078x, 0.023y, and 0.045z is 4565. Again, honestly, this one would not be super difficult to do by hand, but it's even easier to do on the calculator. 3 by 4. We have 0, 1, negative 1, 25,000. 1, 1, 1, 100,000, 110,000. 078x, 023y, 045z. Oop, oh no, I got it. 4565. 0, 1, negative 1,000, 1, 1, 110,000, 078, 023, 045. Okay. So then it would have been 25,000 stocks, 55,000 bonds, 30,000 seeds. Probably two of the easier sections of the semester since it's all calculator work. But that's all she wrote, folks.